first, we're here in the Price Chopper kitchen celebrating the start of spring with some spring sips, and we are thrilled to have Milissa Crawford, who is the bar manager at Port Fonda, a Westport favorite.
Absolutely.
Love that restaurant.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
One of the things that you guys offer at Port Fonda is Mezcal.
Oh, yes.
Which you describe on your menu as tequila's smokier great-grandfather.
Right. So tequila and mezcal are actually both agave-based distillates, so they're both made from the same plant. However, there are about 200 varieties of agave. So by law, the differences are going to be that tequila in Mexico can only be distilled from Blue Weber agave. So if you're buying a bottle of tequila, make sure it says 100% Blue Weber.
Okay.
Like I said, though, there's over 200 varieties. So mezcal is going to take almost all of the others and kind of make them their own. So they do single blends, well, they'll do just one variety of agave that's per bottle, or they'll also do kind of a mix and they'll do a blend.
So do you not serve tequila, you serve mezcal?
We serve both. So we have a significant variety of mezcal, but we do try to offer quite a few tequilas as well. However, they might not be the big name brand tequilas that you're used to. A lot of it's going to be a little more local.
What are the drinks that you're making today with mezcal that make them taste so different than if you made them with tequila?
So with mezcal, the difference really isn't necessarily in how we're building the cocktail. It's more in the distillation process. The agaves for mezcal actually get buried and smoked underground before they get distilled. So that's where it gets that smoky flavor. It also gets those notes from the soil as well as the local water. So you can kind of put them in all of your cocktails, and it's going to add a little smoky or earthy twist depending on where the agave is from. Today we did our mezcal cocktails, actually a gimlet. They're both going to be riffs on a classic cocktail, but we did a mezcal gimlet today.
Instead of a gin gimlet?
Instead of a gin gimlet. Yeah,
okay.
So it's going to have, so for spring we decided to do a cucumber and a lavender just because they're a little more bright and floral and they make it a little easier to drink. So they actually round out the smoky notes of the mezcal really, really well. So for the gimlet.
And is this something that Port Fonda invented?
No, not at all.
The mezcal gimlet?
Not at all, not at all. We've seen it before. We all have it on our menu as a tequila gimlet, but we tend to push it with mezcal just because people are really afraid of mezcal and it's a way to make it really approachable.
Yeah.
So we tend to push it that way because, you don't want to be scared of something. You want to be able to get into it a little bit easier. So we're doing the gimlet with the mezcal, and we use, our house mezcal is Vita. It's 100% espadín is the name of the agave. It's a really simple recipe also, and it can be made at home really easily. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of that Vita mezcal.
When I was at Port Fonda with my friends, they brought out a flight of mezcal, and I was intimidated because I thought I could not sip a flight of tequila. Tequila's rough.
And you were
I always thought tequila was rough. I tasted it and I thought it was surprisingly smooth.
That's awesome. I love that. So that's what we kind of aim to do. It's really important to work with your server when you're doing things like this because they do taste very differently depending on which one you get, and we want to make sure that you get something that's going to be approachable. If you don't have any experience, we'll start you out with something that's a little bit easier.
That must have been what happened because we were thinking of tequila and whoever it was said, try this.
Absolutely. So no, we're doing our gimlet. So we did our 1.5 ounces of mezcal, and then we're going to do fresh lime juice. And then we also did a cucumber and lavender simple syrup, which is really easy to make at home. Yeah, it's delicious, very fresh, very floral. Give that guy a little shake.
Are these your favorites to make?
My favorites, definitely the agua verde is my favorite to make. That's the tequila cocktail we'll get into next. It's a little more fun. The gimlet is my favorite cocktail to drink because it's something that's so simple as far as it's got 3 ingredients, but the flavor is really awesome and it just goes down so smooth. So strain completely, no ice on that one, and we're just going to toss a little cucumber in there for a garnish on that guy.
May I taste it while you're making the second one?
Please do.
And what's the second one?
So the second is a margarita variation called the Agua Verde, and it is super bright and easy for spring. It's actually going to be...
It's wonderful. This does taste, you can taste the smokiness in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Not too overpowering, I hope. So just enough balance.
Not at all.
So with the Agua Verde, we're going to do a Blanco tequila. And again, on either of these, you can kind of sub any white spirit that you like, but we obviously prefer tequila. And agaves, the sweetness from those tend to balance out a little bit better for spring flavors. And then for this one, like I said, super simple, fresh lime juice. We're going to do a simple syrup, just a regular simple. And then we're going to do fresh mint and cilantro, which is awesome, and it just really brings things in a little brighter. And this one is actually going to get topped off with some bubbles. So we add a little bit of effervescence from some fresh soda water.
I gotta say, the interesting thing about this gimlet is it tastes as if you were just telling me my drink had been barbecued.
Maybe a smoked drink, absolutely.
Put on the grill, that's what it tastes like.
Absolutely.
It's very unique.
You can get that flavor in cocktails by smoking a beverage, or you can just use mezcal.
Mezcal, and it's the mezcal, that's it.
Absolutely. So like I said, with this one, just top with a little bubbles and some fresh mint and a lime.
And then you're good to go. And
Absolutely.
This is called the
Agua Verde, and you can actually get both of these cocktails on our menu all year round if you want to order them. They just tend to be a little bit more spring forward with the fresher, lighter flavors.
Melissa, thank you so much. I'm going to take
Absolutely.
a quick sip of this as we head into our next adventure. Oh, we do have some pictures though. What's that we're looking at? Is that a hot pepper and bacon slice on top of the drink?
That is actually from our Bloody Maria bar, which we do on Saturdays and Sundays. It's got over 40 ingredients, and it's build your own. There's a house favorite. It's our pina colada, and actually that rotates. We have a frozen drink machine, and so you need to check back with us periodically because that pina colada is a favorite, and it's not always happening.
Those are pretty too.
Beautiful margaritas. So.
Melissa Crawford, bar manager at Port Fonda. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Delicious drinks with